It's the second Sunday of the month. You know what that means. Shop your closet. This is a series where I take specific looks that I love from like street style or the internet or wherever, and I reinterpret them using what I already have in my closet. I break down the outfit into elements of style rather than taking the outfit and trying to copy it piece per piece. I think once we see our clothing as elements of style rather than as individual garments, it really opens up a whole new way to play with our clothes and get creative with what we already have. Before we jump in, if you like this kind of video, then you will love my live virtual shop your closet events. We literally do this, talk about elements of style and break looks down, except we shop other people's closets with different bodies, different styles, and it's a really good exercise using these elements of style and seeing your closet as a place of creativity instead of a place of overwhelm and stress. I will leave all of the information for tickets and everything down below. Let's jump on in. This first look is from the very popular French brand called Cézanne. I just love the styling here. I think the clothing is very playful. It has this like nostalgia, Isabelle Marant reference and vibe, but what I really like most about this e-commerce site is their styling. I actually chose this look on purpose because I recently found secondhand this. It's not Cézanne, it's like a vintage Gap. The fabric blend is awesome. It's 95% cotton and 5% cashmere, which you really don't see that often anymore. So one of the biggest elements that I think stands out the most here is the layering aspect. Like my first instinct probably wouldn't be to put a button down underneath this, and I don't think that layering aspect has to be about layering exactly a button-up shirt. I think it's just the idea that you're creating that extra like dimension. Could be a turtleneck even if you want. And the belt worn on top of that, that's like an extra layer. It's also playing a really big impact on the whole silhouette of this look. This is a really like straight, boxy, a kind of sweater, but with the belt you're really cinching in the waist. So you're changing up the silhouette, giving it a little bit more waist definition. It creates a little bit more of like sexy, cute silhouette because we've also got a shorter hemline. I think the vibe of this look, which is I think a style element in itself, is like, it does feel a little bit like feminine, sexy, playful, and always very chic because the button down kind of brings in that elegance and that understated vibe, which I love. I think there's quite a lot of visual contrast happening in both the white button up with the dark navy of the dress, but also in that like beautiful camel or tan. It's almost like a yellowish kind of camel tone. And this really brightens up the whole darkness of the dress. In terms of proportions, I think what they've done is really interesting about how they have that high boot with a really short hem. I think that's kind of fun too. This is so interesting. Originally, I had not planned on belting this, but I can fully see why they did. Especially with the shirt underneath, this is feeling really boxy. So there are a couple of styling tweaks that I think need to be mentioned. In the inspiration, they unbuttoned the little button here. I thought that was really cool. Maybe, like, I feel like my hair should be up for this. I don't know why. I have a couple footwear options. I'm gonna go with my first instinct first, just so that we see what it looks like. My belt and my boots do not match as well as theirs. I mean, such is life. Let's see. It's okay. I mean, I'm wearing tights because it's winter in Canada. I love how they've got the sleeve scrunched up, but the button up is staying long. But also, I kind of like scrunching it up. Liking this so far. This belt is the Fia by my friends over at Brave Leather. They are a phenomenal Canadian company. I have a little collaboration going on with them as well. We designed a belt together. Okay, this is pretty cute. I feel like my mother, I'm not gonna lie, she would fully wear this. So here's what's really interesting. I chose the yellow because I really liked the contrast and I didn't appreciate the proportion of the thigh high. I have a thigh high boot, and maybe what I liked more about this look was actually the proportion of the thigh high with the short hem. So instead of going for the color, I'm gonna go with the proportions. And in all honesty, I find whenever I do this or whenever I'm putting my own outfit together, I really do feel like proportions and silhouette are where it's at. Like if something's not working, it's usually the proportion and silhouette rather than things like color and texture and stuff like that. Just because color and texture, like that is such a personal, subjective thing, and everyone's closet looks so different in that way. Okay, how is this looking? This is way cuter. So I think the success of this look really lies in the proportions here, as we can see. She does not have a purse, but even this could be okay. Yeah, this is okay too, actually. Gives it kind of like a little vintage vibe. We get a little bit of the texture mix. One last tweak. I just adjusted the collar so that it's not popped super high. I feel like maybe that was coming off as like a bit too preppy. See here, I just folded it under the collar, and I think I like that better. You appreciate the buttons a little bit more, like the undone button. This second look is by a company that I recently discovered. It's Italian, it's called Soul Days. They also have a really interesting sort of focus on responsible manufacturing and things like that, which I love. And their pieces I find are pretty classic. So I found this look, which I wouldn't really have normally considered for winter because it's got a little bit of midriff showing, but I actually like how they've done that here. Like, it's not a huge crop. It's like just a little sliver of stomach, which I really like. Obviously, the first thing that stands out at me is this monochromatic base, the black top and black bottoms, with like a really beautiful cohesive color palette outside of that. So there's like the hint of red in the jacket, the red in the shoes. And when it comes to the proportions, I think this is also really interesting. They've got some really interesting like long and boxier proportion, which under normal circumstances, when paired with a full length pant that is not tapered, that is just very like a classic tailored kind of pant, I think this would be a little bit like too much. But because we've got that little sliver of stomach, we've got a little bit of definition. We're seeing a little bit of ankle as well between the loafer and the pant. So the proportions aren't as overwhelming as they would be if this was just like a solid chunk of color underneath. I also think the silhouette is really great here, that crisp tailoring, both on the jacket and the pants. This is a very tailored and clean and minimal look. I like the high contrast between the print and the black, and I think it's just really beautifully coordinated. It feels very elegant and understated, but all of those elements together create a really interesting visual impact and an outfit that is far from boring. Okay, here's the base of this second look. So the first thing I'm gonna do is create that waist definition. I probably wouldn't show a little bit of midriff mid-winter, but it's such a small sliver, and I like the way the rest of it is styled. I'm just really curious to see how this is gonna work. So I'm gonna do this just by taking the hem of my sweater and tucking it into the base of my bra. There, how do we feel? Tiniest sliver. I never would have done this in real life. Here's the jacket that I want to use. The one in our inspiration is almost like a blazer. Not horrible. Actually, it's realistic because I wouldn't wear like a quasi blazer. And I like how the tailoring is really looking here. Oh my gosh. I like how our inspo has the coordinated shoe. These feel a little bit too fussy with this. And I wish the hem of the pant was a little bit longer. So no, I could do a loafer or a flat, but again, I really want to make this realistic. This is what I've come up with. I'm wearing my winter boots. I thought for sure the lug sole, like all of this would be way too bulky, but it's actually pretty streamlined. Oh my gosh, do I like this? Man, I think I'm gonna wear this. Oh, I am so tempted by this outfit. Yay us. Okay, so I thought I would go to my next sort of favorite region for inspiration, and this look is from Philippa K, another, I would say, relatively responsible brand. I've always really liked Philippa K. It's a little bit more like romantic and soft vibe, which is very different from what I normally go for. I don't have these colors at all in my closet, but I think what I liked about it is the contrast in texture and silhouette. So I love the texture play. We've got these really beautiful cozy textures, like the quasi balaclava scarf, not sure what that is, the like nubby fuzzy sweater, and then this beautiful soft luxurious knit skirt. And then even the print on the boot kind of adds that element of texture as well. I find the muted colors, that's not like my favorite element, but I like how they create a really soft look. And then of course we've got these really interesting silhouettes that are also a little bit varied, right? Like we have this very clean fitted skirt and this a little bit oversized kind of voluminous sweater. So there's a nice tension between the silhouettes, between the textures. And if we're looking at proportions, I love how they've got that boot, which adds a little bit of visual heft and balances out that big volume in the sweater. Look 3. Not really groundbreaking, but I did my suede boots with this just so that we could get more of that texture play between the shine of the skirt and the boot, because I don't have like a printed boot or a snakeskin boot. To get that volume on top, I'm gonna try this coat, which I'm actively trying to wear more. I actually like this. If I were going somewhere fancy, I would wear this. It's a little bit more monochrome, so the visual interest is really focusing only on the texture here instead of that like really beautiful color palette that was in our inspo, but can't be a shoulder purse. I'll have to make this back into a crossbody. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Purse is under the coat so that I don't have to worry about it falling off with all of this bulk. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you liked those looks in the comments below, if you thought they were a hit or a miss. I came up with an outfit that I really liked for my new sweater dress. To me, that's a win. I'll probably wear it this week. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I am so grateful that you are here. If you liked this kind of video, you will love my live Shop Your Closet events. We literally do this, but with real people and in their actual closets, and we do it together. So we can really apply what it means to use elements of style to see your closet as a place of creativity instead of like disaster and stress. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you in the next low fashion video. Ciao.